Hey there, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 words that you should never say about your relationship and your significant other. Those 4 words are, I hate my husband. I want to talk about today about how to not have resentment in your marriage. I don't want you to ever say those words that you hate your husband. I don't want you to ever hate your relationship, resent the person that you're with. You know, those types of feelings should not be happening. Although they do happen for people, although sometimes they're common for people in relationships, you know, my goal is to have you be in relationships that are fulfilling and loving and happy. And, you know, what's the point of being with somebody if we hate them or we have resentment towards them and we despise the relationship that we're in? I mean, really, at the end of the day, you know, life is just too short. You need to be with somebody that makes you feel fulfilled and loving and fulfilling and happy and all the good feelings. And so if you are feeling resentment, if you are feeling hatred towards your significant other, we're going to be talking about ways to help stop that resentment from happening. So I'm really looking forward to diving into the details of this video today. So before we start, I want you to please subscribe to my YouTube page if you haven't already, and you'll get a notification and a pop-up every time I create a new video for you. And please always feel free to comment, ask me any questions below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, like I always do, okay? So let's talk about, you know, hatred and resentment. Usually that happens in relationships when we're feeling, a lot of things, but usually they're reactions to needs that we are not getting in our relationship, needs that are not being met. So we start to tend to build up those negative feelings about our significant other when we're not feeling satisfied, when we're feeling maybe put down, when we're feeling invalidated, when our feelings are getting hurt for whatever reason. A lot of times in relationships, we hone in on those negative feelings. We stuff them deep, deep, deep down inside of ourselves, and that festers into a tumor. That festers into our relationship, having that resentment towards our other halves and our significant others and our spouses. So we get to this point that we have just stuffed so much and we have been so unhappy and unfulfilled over various things over long periods of time that we eventually feel, oh my God, I hate my husband. I hate my spouse. And again, getting to that point is never good. That shows that you are down an unhealthy road. You're in an unhealthy dynamic. And what's most important is that you can get out of it, okay? I'm obviously here to make relationship videos for you, give you the tools that you need to help your relationship be happier and more fulfilled in the end. So, first step to stop having resentment in your marriage is you have to be willing to open up about smaller issues in your relationship, right? Because like I was mentioning before, little issue after little issue after little issue turns into a big issue, turns into big feelings of resentment and hatred. But if you're willing to talk about the little issues as they happen, moving forward, you're not going to be building up these negative feelings in your relationship. So you need to be open to that. You need to be open to telling your spouse things that you're not happy with, things that upset you, things that hurt your feelings, things that make you feel sad. You have to be willing to be talking about these little things so you can address, you know, the bigger picture in the end, okay? So start putting yourself in that type of a position, start being vulnerable about your feelings and opening up. That's really, really important, okay? So I want you to start talking about the little things. Step number 2, you have to take responsibility in the role for what is not working well in your relationship. Because in relationships, it does take 2 to tango. And again, I've mentioned in other videos that it's really easy for us to blame our other halves, right? It's really easy to point out the faults in other people. It's not always easy to recognize our flaws and what we do wrong and what we could be doing better. But you have to be able to take personal responsibility for what you do. Or maybe what you don't do. Do you not stick up for yourself? Do you not talk back? Do you say nothing's wrong when something is wrong? Do you, say mean things because you're hurt and you want your partner to, be hurt as well? Do you yell when you get angry? Do you engage in some type of a behavior that is not, a healthy related dynamic? My guess is you do, because we all do. We all do that in relationships. Even I do. I engage in unhealthy dynamics. And the thing is, it's trying to be aware of these unhealthy dynamics and make the decisions to not do them in the future, and be aware fast enough where you don't do it for a long enough period of time where it's going to create a crazy fight and a blowout. Okay, so don't do that. So be willing to take responsibility for your role in what is not working in your relationship. Step number 3, in order to stop having resentment in your marriage, is that you need to apologize. You have to learn to apologize. Apologizing goes such a long way. You need to be able to say, honey, I am so sorry for what I said. I should not have said that. It was disrespectful. It was rude. I'm so sorry for not doing this. I'm so sorry for not doing that. You know, a lot of times our egos get in the way and we want to wait for our significant other to be the one to say, I'm sorry first. I'm here to tell you that's not going to work, okay? You need to be able to man up, woman up, and really apologize for what you have done wrong or what you could do better. That's all about that personal responsibility taking. And that's a huge, huge mature relationship skill to have. Okay, so I want you to work on that as well. Step number 4, to not have resentment. It's really important to forgive hurt feelings. So if your partner does do something that hurts you, because that is going to happen. Nobody's perfect. No relationship is perfect, and you're going to have your feelings hurt in your relationship. That's just what happens in any relationship, whether it's your significant other, or whether a coworker says something mean to you, or whether your parent says something mean, or your brother or your sister. You know, something happens where your feelings get hurt, right? Where you feel like, oh man, that really, dug a hole in my heart right there. You have to be willing to forgive. You know, forgive means not harboring negative feelings about the person who said the mean thing. It's being able to let go, being able to move on, being able to not use what they said or did in a future argument as a way to attack that person. You have to really let go and move on. Now, a lot of times in order to be able to let go, you have to mention that what they did was wrong or what they did hurt your feelings. But once you say it and once you address it, you have to let it go. Okay, that's really important to forgive. Step number 5, you need to state your needs respectfully in your relationship. How does that help, get rid of resentment in relationships? Basically, if you're stating your needs, you are doing everything that you need to do, really, in order to be happy, in order to thrive, in order to, really move on. So you have to be able to say, hey, I need you to do this next time. I need this from you in order to feel better. We all have needs. We all have desires. We all have things that are going to make us feel happy in the relationship, make us feel fulfilled. So you have to be able to communicate that to your significant other. So stop keeping in your feelings. Stop using the silent treatment. Stop acting a certain way when you're really feeling another way. This is about being authentic. It's about being real. So start stating your needs. That's super important. Last but not least, step number 6, you have to start putting in effort to better yourself. And all these steps 1 through 5 is going to help you better yourself. You have to understand that you are not a perfect person. You have to understand that you're not perfect in your relationship. You have to understand that everybody makes mistakes. But what's most important is that you want to be a better person. You want to gain more skills about yourself, more skills about how to be a best girlfriend or wife or partner in your relationship. You want to learn the skills that you need in order to be the best partner you can be. So you have to put effort into bettering who you are, because at the end of the day, it isn't really about what your partner does or doesn't do. It's about what you do as a result of that. It's about your decisions, your choices, your options, and taking ownership of that. So start putting an effort into being the best person you can be in your relationship. And I am very, very confident that you're going to have a much happier and healthier dynamic at the end. And if you're harboring that resentment, I'm very confident that you will be decreasing that resentment very soon if you do these steps 1 through 6 that I was talking about. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, like I said, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And thank you so much for watching my video today. Again, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks so much. Bye.